Good morning. It is Friday, September 27th, 2019. In today's episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin, we're going to take a look at the downside potential for a V-shaped bottom reversal, or are we going to go into a slow accumulation that may last until spring of 2020? If you're interested in this kind of analysis of Bitcoin, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Let's dig in. Before I do, you can pause the video to read through the disclaimer, and I can now quickly stop the music and jump into our full scene here. Let's start off with a look at Bitcoin prices on the short-term time frame. Then we'll zoom out to the long-term time frame. We'll come back and we'll look through our four main indicators. We'll look at relative strength index, we'll look at on-balance volume, we'll look at the MACD indicator, then we'll look at Ichimoku Cloud, and we'll finish with a look at the Patreon Bull Market Watch spreadsheet for a look at what's going on with the altcoins as well. So starting off from this scene right here, I naturally want to point out this tiny little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here that we broke above and we've held above it. Now we have a 1, 2, 3 shaping up here in sort of a triangle formation at these levels. Looking at the 5-minute bars, so we're zoomed right in on just the last couple days of price charts. We zoom out to the 15-minute time frame. Now we have a downtrend that it hasn't broken yet out of this 1, 2, 3 bottom. We don't have the exponential moving average crossing over even on the 15-minute time frame. So we don't have enough of a turnaround yet for us to call this a reversal. It's the first potential stages of it, and if it gets above these levels, then we could be looking at it. Let's zoom back out again and continue watching. This is a pretty steep slide down, and so I'm pretty keen to be seeing divergences in our RSI and on-balance volume at this time frame. That's the 1 hour. Let's zoom back out to the 4-hour time frame. It's a pretty significant decline. We saw this coming. All of our exponential moving averages crossed to the negative. All of our indicators were saying down, down, down. I took a short position at 10 times leverage and made some phenomenal profits off that. It was a small trade, so it's not changing the world, but really awesome to trade this correctly as it was coming up. So let's go on to the 3-month time frame and start zooming out. We can see that we had these tops, a double top here, wicked divergence showing up. All the way along here, we could see that our on-balance volume was weakening off. This top was really clear in hindsight. And when we go back and rewatch the videos from some of the projections that we were doing at these times, it's pretty awesome to see how all of these indicators, along with this simple retest of a top or bottom, really works out. So let's continue to zoom out on this. Now we're on to the 1-day view. There's a bit of a divergence here between Bitstamp and Bitfinex in the background there. So at any rate, we can see that we are in this range up, a top formation. We have some space to be able to continue going down. On this daily chart, what I want to do is go into the logarithmic view. Oh, that could be why I was in log view. That's what screws it up. So I want to go in log view and I want to drag this all the way back and get some time frame perspective on it. From this view, I want to draw a trend line along these bottoms. And for my own part, this is what I'm expecting prices to do. And it's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to be slow either. I think that we'll have this kind of fast reversal on a really hard move down. And we'll see as we finish up the episode, the Bitcoin longs versus shorts. Got to go and look at it. The Bitcoin longs are still too high at this level. You know, they should have been beaten down more from this drop, and they haven't yet. They're still holding on that it's going to go up from here. And there's not a lot of support and resistance between these areas. I think that we'll slip past that quickly if we crack below these levels of the $7,400 level. And it'll be a quick V-shaped reversal. We'll see Bitcoin longs really drop off really sharply, and the shorts will probably drop off too. Everybody will just be panicked and freaked out. So let's go back to the chart now and start zooming in on the indicators to see what they are telling us. I'll go back to the normal view so I'm not messing myself up there. We'll start off with the today we're going from short term and moving back. So let's start the routine. What I'm looking for here is any kind of patterns in the relative strength index. I want to see breaks of trend lines, or I want to see divergences. And this isn't giving me a divergence, it's giving me a negative break of a negative trend line. So these become potential top formations, and we'll confirm that when we get to the Ichimoku cloud. Let's zoom our way back out, because I want to look for this exact divergence when we're going on here, and I want to see a longer term divergence when we're looking at this as we are stepping out. So that's the 15-minute time frame. 1 hour time frame, there is the divergence I was looking for right there. And if we see this confirming in the MACD, then it gives me more juice for watching for a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation to set up here. And should we be staging above this kind of thing, it changes my whole view. But until we do, I'm still super bearish and expecting that massive crack down. This is the first good sign though for the bulls. Let's zoom back out now onto the 4 hour time frame, also showing us this divergence, which is good, and a kind of a break of this, not yet. There's our downtrend line. Should we break that and be building this structure? Okay, that changes me right to bull right away if we are doing both of these. I like to see that we can have such clear specifics in the chart pattern versus the indicator. In fact, I have to remind myself that I want to be tweeting these kind of screenshots out. And just to say great divergence here for bulls, for hopeful bulls. Let's tweet that out. Now I'll clear this off and continue zooming out to the 12-hour time frame. Very, very oversold. Not as deeply oversold as we've been in the past, but pretty darn close. So that is pretty good. I would expect a little bounce up from there, and I'd still be watching for a top formation as this bounces up. When it comes back up to this level, we'll still be watching for a top formation. All the way through here, I'll be watching for top formation and a divergence here in the 12-hour and the 4-hour. So if we're seeing it doing something like this, like a top formation and breaking to the downside, that's what I'm looking for after it moves up. Gets to be a messy chart. Let's zoom out to the daily view. Also very nicely oversold. If we are going to get a reversal, we have a pretty nice downtrend line here that we could be following along. And again, if the RSI is getting above these levels, then we're starting to sing. Then we're starting to get into something that is important, but not until. Everything until then is that downtrend, the top formation setting up. So we have some great levels in this to show us what actions to be taking as it unfolds. And in the weekly time frame, this was beautiful for the short trade. To see this all unfolding and to follow it was great for the short trade. It really laid out well. Because all the way along here, I've been expecting that we were going to see an uptrend and it touch off this uptrend and keep going, but it didn't. And so I think we're coming in for some serious down yet, just from this as well. Now I want to go into the next indicator and work our way backwards the same way. Starting off from the shortest term time frame, I want to see the nature of this dumping. How did it dump? It dumped deeper instead of less. So it's not giving us the divergence I wanted to see there for of course, I want to see Bitcoin go to $100,000. Now I'm looking for the nature of the dump here versus here. This was a stronger dump. This was less. That's good. And that we are seeing a trickle of positive volume at the end there is also a good sign with our RSI divergence. I like it. Let's zoom back out further. So this is more clear. Dumping, less dumping, turning to buying at the end, even on the 1 hour time frame. In the 4 hour time frame, we're not getting any buying yet. It's still showing a good divergence. So this is our second nice divergence going on here. There's the super dumping pattern. Where did we get dumping that deep? Only back here did we get dumping that deep. There could be a second wave of it. We're not finished. I'm still watching for that to come back to these 63, 52 levels because of that big uptrend in the logarithmic view. On the 1 day view now, dumping, again, it's showing us this is the major dump. We haven't had dumping that deep since, well, here. So that it has happened this deep in the past. And in the past, it shows here that we can have a few series of dumpages before we're coming back up, and it's still not terminal for the uptrend. So let's see what we do here. We could be coming for a bounce. Oh, look at that. I got to go back and look at this. Not quite the same, but this is the kind of bounce I'm looking for, that we would have the longs finally get their day, where they have to close their long position from this descending triangle, amazing descending triangle. And you know, when I made my first video on YouTube, I got to go way back. When I posted my first screenshots onto TradingView, it was right in this triangle setting up here. Descending wedge triangle, and I was looking for it to go up from there. I didn't go short. I didn't plan to go short, didn't think of going short. And so it is really awesome, finally, after all this time, to recognize this pattern and to trade it correctly. So that's fantastic. That's what's going on with the selling volume. Now I want to go into the MACD indicator, and of course now I'm looking for these divergences again. I'm looking for this to go to the positive. Now it doesn't really mean much on the 5-minute time frame. Zoom out to the 15-minute time frame. It still doesn't mean much, except that we have a divergence going on here and from here. So if we zoom out more and we take a look at this, divergence is nice, and I like that we are crossed to the positive as we're stepping out of here. And again, I'm looking for it to bounce off of tops here. If it gets some structure above this, we'll reevaluate, but I'll still be looking for tops off of here. Let's go on to the 4 hours, crossing to the positive. That's really good. Let's go into the 12-hour time frame, still holding negative. So this will probably hold a negative stance, and the daily will probably hold a negative stance, and the weekly will hold a negative stance, even if we are coming up into these ranges and we are touching off a top formation. So let's see how these all compare as this unfolds over time. That's the 12-hour, going to the 1-day view. So that it is cracked below these levels on this downtrend, still feels like we have a lot more down to go, even though we could bounce up in the short time frame. Not giving us much love here. And in the weekly view, again, this is bearish. We have larger histograms. The histograms are growing longer. Yet longer, and we need them to be going the other direction before we're going to get any change in this trend. We are in for pain yet. Let me go back to the chart and change off to our last indicator, going into the Ichimoku cloud. And on the 5-minute time frame, this is not giving us any love. No buy signal above this yet. So it really has to cross above these levels. We're getting some nice divergences, but this isn't setting us up. And on the 15-minute time frame, it's still not setting us up. It's coming in out of the cloud, and I guess the first indicator I got to pay attention to is this cross to the positive. We have a cross to the positive. The green trailing indicator has cut through everything. So a break above these levels would be a mini, like a micro or nano buy signal on this. If it does go up above these levels, it could be an entry that, you know, if you're trading 10 times leverage, you can make a good profit between here and there before it's going to top out and come back down. Let's zoom out now and see what we're doing on the 1-hour time frame. Missed it. 1-hour time frame still pulled back quite a bit. And so this is giving me the want to look for a sell signal in a downtrend. If it comes up into these levels and then starts to break, That's a sell signal in a downtrend. If it gets up into these levels and starts to break, it's a sell signal in a downtrend on the 1 hour time frame. Still bearish for sure. 4 hour time frame, way bearish. We have a skinny cloud. At least it's going a bit more thick. This means it's going down fast. This means it's probably going to go sideways for a bit from here. So again, I do believe that we could come up into these ranges, and that would be a sell signal in a downtrend if it's bouncing off this cloud right there. Anywhere in this range. So you can see I've got a repeat theme going on. We'll see if it turns out to be correct over the next while. But no buying in it yet. It's got to set up for us before we can do anything on this. Right now, should you have been short, of course, the exponential moving averages haven't crossed positive, and you should be still holding that short if you were doing your part of the trade. And I'm saying this to my own subconscious because it's our job to practice making sure that we don't lose money and keeping our losses small, but it's up to the market to determine how much money we make. So if we went short here, then we really shouldn't have taken off that short, except for FOMO and FUD reasons, because then we're being fearful. At the time of the trade, we should be greedy. When we are correct, this is when we should be greedy. When we're first starting a trade, that's when we should be fearful. So for my own part, I had the short, but I've closed it off and I went long on Ripple, which has turned out to be profitable, but I didn't trade this correctly according to my own rules. So I'm admonishing myself here. Let's go out to the 1 day view and take a look at this. Of course, the 1 day view has been pointing out the negative view on this for the longest time. What happened last time we had this set up? We had down, hold a little bit, down, hold a little bit, down. And we had the divergences in our RSI and our MACD for a long time before this finally actually bottomed and came up. So we'll watch our divergences and we'll compare them to the divergences that set up in this last move, as I am still expecting this to give us more downside, probably a sharp one down below these levels before we bounce up sharp and fast. So that'll be our real capitulation, and we'll come up and build some strength above this, and then we'll see where we're going after that. But definitely feeling like downtrend from here still. On the weekly view, I've been saying this for weeks, that the Ichimoku cloud says that we could come back to this level or this level and still stay bullish in that longer term logarithmic uptrend. This would still keep our full bullish, wouldn't change the bull. It just pulls us back a little bit in the whole uptrend. Great stuff. Now let me go on. If you guys haven't subscribed already to the channel, be sure to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and come back daily to watch these. Let me know what I can do in this presentation what can I do to make it worth your while every day to come back and watch this video. So the main thing I'm looking for here is to provide the same information so that we can have some structure and we can come back and compare it time after time. So I hope it's working out well for you as well. In Bitcoin dominance, we see that we have a 1, 2, 3 top formation. Then prices came down and they came up and tested that and have failed down below. So for me, as this is coming down past these levels, this is altcoin season taking off. Altcoins will be blasting off as this happens. I don't know if they're going to go up enough to compensate for the price of Bitcoin sliding down, or if their US dollar value will go down, even if their price versus Bitcoin is going up. Those are things that is important to pay attention to, and I'm a little bit blind to because I really look at altcoin versus Bitcoin, and I don't look very much at altcoin versus US dollar. So it is a blind spot for my own approach. Now, I want to take a look at the Bitcoin longs, Bitcoin shorts. Just open this up to give us an idea where our retracements are come down to. It would be under the 38% that I'm expecting it to come down to, like the 0.26 level of this run up. A huge, like a nasty move. Where's my drawing tool? So we could probably consolidate in here for a while and get ourselves all thinking bullish. And as it comes back up to these levels, that's when we're going to get the slam. my own thinking. And I've been calling for that for the longest time, all the way from back here, but I was expecting this whole thing would manifest in this range, and then we would get our slam. And I was thinking back to $2,500 before our big run up. And so I was not correct on that. I was not correct on the size of it and the timing of it. It went much bigger than I thought it would. And so now that it's doing this, it could be that it's time to get into, would have been best to get into fiat right here. Get out of all the alts, get out of all Bitcoin, get right into fiat. And that was my plan back here, is to get out of all alts, get out of all fiat. And then after this pullback, then we're going to have altcoin season start. Everything is going to bleed like crazy, I was saying back in December. And now it's turned out much bigger, but the overall scenario is playing out. And so it may be that all the alts are going to suffer big time along with Bitcoin in US dollar value until we actually plunge down here. And we could go sideways for a while after that time. So we'll watch for our exponential moving averages for them to cross and our 1, 2, 3 bottoms to manifest, but we could be at this for a while before we actually see these results. I'm not sure, but I'm watching closely along with AOL Chandra, and we're updating the Patreon Bull Market Watch spreadsheet. If you'd like to become a Patreon sponsor, you'll get recognized in our chat, in our live stream. I'd like to thank Gunbot University Wally for his support, Philip, who just joined as a patron sponsor the other day, Chris, Crypto Street, Julian, Carl, Usman, Chris, Story, and Philip and Patrick. Thank you very much for supporting this stream, for supporting the other stream, and I hope that you find this access to this spreadsheet super powerful. We've been keeping this for more than a year now, and the data in here really has turned out to be the most amazing stuff for telling us when to be getting in and getting out of the markets without being difficult. And we can see here that the alerts versus the hold status is really important. We can see this is quite a bit different change in the altcoins than it was in the last couple times. We see that we had the alerts went up to 22, but the holds didn't. Here, the alerts went up to 74, but the holds hardly started going. Here, we had the alerts go up and the holds go up. The holds have held their position. There are 31 coins that are still in hold status after this correction so far. And we have another 35 coins in alert status. These are the front-running coins in the altcoins that are moving up first and fastest. And it's the most important to be paying attention to which ones they are. So if you want access to this spreadsheet and you want to see which coins those are, you can become a patron sponsor and support this channel. That would be awesome. Now, you don't have to spend all your hours scanning through the charts. We do a ton of that for you. If you're interested in our crypto alerts, we get much more specific than just our Patreon Bull Market Watch. You can get alerts sent to your phone through our Discord chat that are up to date right as it's happening. You also get access to our spreadsheets so that you can sort and select some hidden gems in all of these cryptocurrencies that are setting up right now. Some pretty fantastic stuff. Head over to intro-to-cryptos.ca to see those reports. Let's zoom in on this again. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, I will do a live stream where we'll consider ADA, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, Tron, and Ripple, and we'll do technical analysis on them to see how they are turning out against Bitcoin prices. That's today at 3 o'clock on the other live stream. But if you want access to everything that's going on Binance, that is alerts for up to 200 different cryptocurrencies, be sure to check out our Binance alerts over on the website. Now, I didn't look at the chat at all through the episode today. Let me go back and find it amongst these million tabs I've got. So we got Tratter Retuto, good to see you along. LGR, you've got too many consonants in your name. LBGer, good to have you along. Rick Ty, perhaps a retest of the 92 level and then down again. Yeah, But you said that perhaps alt season is coming. Does not the alt drop even more than along with Bitcoin crash? Well, the altcoins do go up and down with Bitcoin, but not at the same time. Let me go and grab a spreadsheet so that I can show you. Because, of course, I did a study on this because it was really important to me to see the details of it. And so I did some back testing so that I could not only see it for myself, but then I could show you as well. So where is my crypto bull market mega study from October 2018? I'll drag this down. So you can see we've got some anonymous narwhal checking it out right now. This is one of our members who is checking this out. So if you're an alert subscriber, you get a copy of this wicked spreadsheet of all of this back testing, all of the historical signals from March to July 2017. You can see that BTS made 2,470%. And when I look at that, that's using our trading system that I teach here, that we talk about here. I did the most general back testing I could. I said, we're going to get in on the cross of the 12-hour EMA, and we're going to get out on the cross of the 12-hour EMA. We're not even going to get out after the top formation. We're not getting out on the 4-hour EMA cross. We're going to wait all the way till the 12-hour and do our calculations based on that. So from here, March the 23rd to July the 7th, we can see that we are up 2,400%. And if you had sold out up here at this top formation, it would have been 4,000%. It's crazy the kind of gains that we were seeing at this time. But the most important thing is in this chart right here. So I've highlighted it so that I can find it easy. This is the altcoin bull market of 2017. So Bitcoin went from $1,000 to $3,000 while the alts were going up. And then we had this bear market where Bitcoin was going up and up and up, but the alts were just getting crushed. They were going up in US dollar value, but they were going down versus Bitcoin. So it was an altcoin bear market. Then we had a short altcoin bull market in January. And then after that, it's been down a little bit up and then down and down and down. Now, this doesn't go through and show us what happened, but you can see here that there is a change of Bitcoin dominance going down, Bitcoin dominance going up, Bitcoin dominance going down, Bitcoin dominance going up, down and up. So now when we go to the Bitcoin dominance chart and find it, and I go out to the longer term time frame so that we can see that, this is Bitcoin dominance going up and the alts going down. And this happened for January 2016 all the way until March of 2017. So there was a year and a half of downtrend in the alts versus Bitcoin, and then the magic happened. Then we had this big downtrend from July until December of 2017, and we had a month and a half of quick moves up, uncertain market. We had a little bit of a trend change here. No, this is the trend change through April and May, and then it's just been down and down ever since. So the alts are really been punished, and yet there's still room for them to go. There's still room for them to go down. So this is why I'm watching to see if this top formation breaks higher or goes lower from here. When we're looking at the close time frame, it's an ideal point for it to change and go. We'll watch how it manifests. And so let me see, where was that question again? Because I'm off track. So do the alts normally drop when Bitcoin's crashing? Yes and no. We can see that they drop when Bitcoin's going up. We can see that Bitcoin is going up here and the alts are going up. And then Bitcoin is going up and the alts are going down. Then Bitcoin's going down and the alts are going up. Then Bitcoin's going down and the alts are going down. Bitcoin's going up and the alts are going up. So it switches back and forth, is what I'm going at here. And that we have to know where the switching points are, especially this switching point here in April. We had this little bit of a run up here for 2019. The alts actually did a little run up on that, and then down they went. So I'm watching for that flip from here from here, and watching for that change now, watching for the change. And then we should be in alts if we want to grow our Bitcoin when this is dropping. So Beckham, I also look at alts versus BTC and not interested in alts versus US dollar right now. It's probably a good idea to keep a vague eye on alts versus US dollar and Bitcoin versus US dollar, because it's the only time in the charts that it's good to be in stablecoin or fiat. So maybe that would have been the best place to be right here, jumping in straight to stablecoin, straight to fiat coin, because the alts didn't pump as Bitcoin came down. So they dropped in US dollar value as Bitcoin was dropping in US dollar value. I don't even know if I can bring this up quickly. Litecoin US dollar. So it definitely dropped in US dollar value. Litecoin BTC didn't drop nearly as much. So definitely at that moment, it was the best thing to have done, because alts dropped as Bitcoin dropped. That's the only time that stablecoin for me is a good option. And there's so much to pay attention to. I am focused on just this for now and just Bitcoin versus the coins. So it is a blind spot for me. It is a weakness in my own trading. So that about wraps it up. We've covered everything in this episode. We've gone through it. We've gone through some specifics, what to look for in the indicators at different time frames, so that now we should be prepared for our Bitcoin trading. Let me go back and find it. We should be prepared for what's coming next in our Bitcoin. If the market does each thing, we have a specific plan to be looking for. In that, if the RSI is breaking above these levels, when it comes up above these levels, what to be doing. If it breaks down below these levels, I'm not expecting it right now. I do think we're going to get a bit of a bounce up and then down from there. So that'll wrap it up for today. Great to have you guys along. I appreciate you being here. If you have any suggestions, as always, I am open to it. This is a stream that should be as valuable for you as it is for me. If you have any questions or suggestions, or you like something in one stream and not in another, let me know. If not, I'll see you over on our Discord chat, and we'll continue this conversation on Bitcoin prices throughout the day as it's unfolding. And I'll see you on our 3 o'clock stream as we go over our BitMEX 7. Cheers. I'll sign off for now and wish you guys all the best today. Have a great day.